Welcome to the final video on activity management. Hopefully you will have completed an activity diary for 1 or 2 weeks and will have colour-coded activities as high, medium and low energy demand. When reviewing your activity diary, it can be helpful to think about the things that may have influenced whether the activity was high, medium or low energy demand. Asking yourself the following questions may help. Are there any aspects of the activity or task that made it harder? If so, how could you adapt the activity? For example, could you sit down rather than stand up, or reduce the complexity of the task? Did your experience of the activity before having fatigue make any difference? Are you setting your baseline too high based on how you used to be able to do the activity? Are you someone who is a starter-finisher and finds it hard to stop until the job is finished? Having honest conversations with yourself can highlight areas that you may need to focus on. Do you generally find certain types of tasks harder, such as physical or mental tasks? Did this depend on other things, such as where you were doing it, whether other people were involved, when you were doing it, whether it was a good day or a bad day? Remember, there can be many factors that can influence this. For example, how well we have slept the night before, how we are feeling, the time of day that we are carrying out the activity, and who we are with can all have an impact on our ability to engage in activities. If so, what changes could you make? For example, could you carry out the activity earlier or later in the day? Could you break it down into manageable chunks with restorative breaks in between? Did whether you like or enjoyed the activity or task make a difference? Sometimes we are on autopilot when carrying out an activity without really considering the impact it may be having on us. Was it harder if emotions were involved, such as conflict or stress, or when doing it to meet other people's expectations? How could you manage this? For example, do you need to set clearer boundaries with others? Unfortunately, there is not a simple answer or magic formula with activity management. Questioning and assessing your activities will hopefully enable you to understand the impact activities have on you, so that you can start to make changes to your daily routine to help maximize your energy levels. On this slide is an example of a balanced activity diary. We can see that the person is in a good sleep routine, is spreading out high, medium and low energy demand activities, is factoring in periods of rest, and is mixing and matching activities. What this diary reflects is that there are many different aspects to managing this condition. There will be further videos on sleep management and relaxation to support you with achieving a more balanced routine. It may be helpful at this stage to review your activity diary and start to consider what changes you can make to your daily routine. You might want to go back and re-listen to videos 1 and 2 on activity management principles. If you find reviewing your diary particularly difficult, think about what advice you would give to a friend who is in a similar position as you. What words of wisdom would you give if they were sharing their diary with you? The next step after completing an activity diary is to plan your routine, and the 4 Ps can help you with this. Plan the day. Ask yourself, what do I have to or need to do today? Can I break the activity into smaller chunks or different steps? Can I take regular breaks? Can I grade what I am doing? Can I do the tasks differently? Prioritise the activities. Ask yourself, when shall I do it? Can it wait? Do I need to complete the task or activity today? Does this have to be done at all? Can I ask for help? Pace it. Break down activities into manageable chunks. Remember, mixing and matching activities and including restorative rest breaks can also help. Ask yourself, how can I adjust to working to time, not how I feel? Remember to keep to your energy baseline when carrying out activities. Positive encouragement. Start the day setting good intentions. Focusing on what you can do and possible changes that you can make can help when things do not go to plan or when your routine needs to change at short notice. It might be necessary at this stage to reduce, reorganise, reprioritise and delegate some of your activities. Again, be kind to yourself as this will take time to establish. Remember, making changes is very much based on trial and error and will be very individualised. Here is an example of a weekly planner sheet, which you can use to help plan your routine. There is a blank copy in the activity management booklet that you can download and use. Before starting to think about increasing your activity tolerance, it can be helpful to consider the following. Are you in a boom and bust pattern? Have you established an energy baseline? Are your current activities manageable and sustainable? Are you including restorative rest breaks into your routine? Are you in a good sleep routine? If the answer is no to any of the above, that is okay, as it is highlighting areas that you may still need to focus on to support active stabilisation of symptoms. You may feel very frustrated that this is taking a long time. However, making lifestyle changes is not easy and will take time. If your fatigue levels have stabilised, the next step is to gradually increase your activity tolerance. In the first video, we discussed how to grade activity using time, distance, speed, strength, resistance, and complexity. You can start to apply these grading strategies to your activities. For example, if your baseline for reading is 10 minutes, you may wish to increase the time to 12 minutes. Whenever you start to increase an activity, it needs to be maintained before you consider increasing it again. It is far better to increase gradually by taking small steps rather than making big incremental increases, as this can increase the boom and bust effect. If you do notice an increase in fatigue and other related symptoms, it may not mean you have done too much. This may be your body adjusting to the new demand. If, however, symptoms do not settle and you start to experience a worsening of fatigue and fatigue-related symptoms, then you may need to decrease the activity level or take a different approach. For example, if your goal is to increase your walking tolerance and you increase it from 10 minutes to 12 minutes, but are struggling, you may decide to decrease it to 11 minutes or see if having a short period of rest at halfway helps. It is important to remember that fatigue does fluctuate. Our body is dealing with internal and external demands every day, and certain activities will deplete our energy more quickly than others. Sometimes it will feel like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but by taking small incremental steps and re-evaluating your baselines regularly, you can gradually build up your activity tolerance. Don't forget to still factor in your restorative rest breaks. This is an important part of activity management. In this video, we have covered how to review your activity diary, how to schedule your activities using the 4 Ps, and how to increase activity tolerance. We hope you have found these 3 videos covering activity management helpful.